right, so here's part 2. We're starting at 41. So again, we're doing assignment 2-6. This is the review assignment. So in 41 it says, on what intervals is y equals x divided by x squared subtract x, where is it continuous? So not that, but in order to understand continuity, you have to know where it's not continuous. So if I take x squared subtract x and make it equal to 0, so if I take the denominator equal to 0, if I factor out an x, and if I solve it, so one answer is 0, and the other answer is positive 1, those are the discontinuities. So if that's where it's not continuous, then where is it continuous? So we're going to do this in interval notation. I think that's how you spell continuous. It's continuous from negative infinity all the way up to 0. It's continuous from 0 to 1. And it's continuous from 1 to infinity. So in interval notation, these are the intervals of continuity. And then at 0 and at 1, in one case, the 0 would create a hole, and 1 would create a vertical asymptote. 42. On what intervals is that continuous? So y equals the square root of x plus 2. So how would I know that? Well, I know that if you take x plus 2, that must be greater than or equal to 0. Because if that's less than 0, then it would be imaginary, not real, and not continuous. So I'm going to solve this. Subtract 2. So again, where is it continuous? In interval notation, we would say from, and it includes, so it's a bracket, from negative 2 to infinity. Any number smaller than negative 2, it's imaginary and would not be continuous. 43. Without using a calculator, find the points of intersection. So we have y equals x to the 4th, subtract 2x squared plus 1, and we have y equals 1 minus x squared. To find the points of intersection, we're going to make them equal to each other. So at what x value are they equal to each other? That's where the graph would intersect. I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to add x squared. I want to keep the power term positive. So when I factor, I want that power term to be positive. So add x squared, that's negative 1x squared. And if I subtract 1, they eliminate. So that's all I got. And now it's equal to 0. Once it's equal to 0, now I can factor and do some solving. So I'm going to factor this. They obviously have an x squared in common. So divide out an x squared. Then x squared subtract 1 is called the difference of squares. So it's the square root of x squared and the square root of 1. So completely factored, that's what you got. What are all the solutions here? So x squared gives me the answer 0. And then I have the answer positive and negative 1. Now I have a choice. So these are not yet my point of intersection. So my points of intersection, I got to plug in. So when I plug in 0, what's the answer? Now both are equally easy, maybe, for 0. You can see if I plug in 0 for x, the answer is 0. What happens when I plug in positive 1? What happens when I plug in negative 1? They both give me the same answer. So I'm going to write it like this. So positive 1 gives me the answer 0. And negative 1 gives me the answer 0. So positive 1 and negative 1 both give me the answer 0. Those are my points of intersection. 44. Now it says use a calculator to do it. So I'm going to go to Desmos right now. Let me write it down first. So we have x squared plus y equals 4. We have 2x subtract y equals 1. So I'm going to go to Desmos. I'm also going to show you here on this calculator how we can also do the same work. So let me show you on this first. So this is just watching. If you had this calculator, some of you do, you can practice with me. I want to find the point of intersection. So I'm going to go here to this screen. I'm going to press menu. I'm going to go to algebra. And I'm going to solve a system. So 7. And then this is not linear. So solve a system of equations. So I'm going to press number 1. And then I'm going to type in a number of equations. I have 2 equations. Those are my variables. So enter. And then I'm going to just type it in. So that's x to the 4th. That is, x squared plus y. Let me do that again. So x squared plus y. I'm just typing in with this calculator. That's equal to 4. Cursor down, then I'm going to type in 2x subtract y. That's equal to 1. And then I'm going to go Control Enter in case the answer is a decimal. So Control Enter, and it is a decimal. So the point of intersection, and there might be more than one, so be careful that if you might have 2 answers here. So the one answer I see in front of me is negative 3.449. Write that down quick. Negative 3.449, and the y coordinate, and the rule again for AP exams is 3 decimal places, and you don't have to round. So negative 7.898. Done. So there's 1. Now you might think that's it. But notice there's a little arrow there. So if I highlight up here, see there's a little black arrow to the right? I can move it to the right and get the other answer. So I moved it to the right. There's a second point of intersection at 1.449 and 1.898. So that's using this calculator. What would it look like if you were on Desmos, and what would you do? So on Desmos, you would type in both. It would be x squared plus y equals 4. And then in the second box, you would type in 2x minus y equals 1. And then you just find the 2 points of intersection and click them. So here's 1. And then we wrote that answer down already. And then here's the second one. And you already wrote that answer down as well. So off of Desmos or off your calculator, for the AP exam you don't get Desmos, but right now you might not have that calculator. So you can use it either way to find that point of intersection. All right, back here again. 45. Find an equation of a line. These are going to be hopefully quick questions. So can you write an equation of a line through 1, 3 and the slope negative 2/3? Yep. Y equals the slope negative 2/3. Take the x coordinate, change the sign, keep the sign for the y, and there's your equation. For 46, find an equation. This time you're given 2 points, 1, 3 and negative 3, 5. So what's an equation of a line there? Well, first I need to know the slope. How do I find the slope between 2 points? y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. That would be positive 2, negative 4. You can simplify it if you like. That's negative 1/2. And then take either point. So I'm just going to take the first one. So the slope is negative 1/2, and then I'm going to go x minus 1 plus 3. Easy. 47. Find an equation through those two. So 1, 3. And the other one is 1, 2. So the slope there, y2 minus y1 and x. So this one is undefined. And when you have a slope that's undefined, that means it's a vertical line. So the equation of a vertical line is x equals. And what does x equal? That'd be 1, and it's over. It's all algebra review questions. 48, some more algebra. Negative 1, negative 3. Perpendicular to 2x subtract 3y equals 6. So I need to know the slope and then understand the word perpendicular. So to find the slope here, I am going to subtract 6. I'm going to add 3y, and then I'm going to divide by 3. Now the only thing I really care about here to give me the slope is this right here. So I'm not going to simplify anything. The slope here is 2/3. The symbol for perpendicular is an upside down T. And what is the perpendicular slope to 2/3? Well, instead of positive, it's negative, and you do the reciprocal. So it's negative 3/2. So So we're going to write down negative 3 over 2. Then take the point and go x plus 1, and then subtract 3. And it's over. 49.